Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this channel we talk about law of attraction, self-development, spirituality, manifestation, law of assumptions, and did I say self-development? Yes. So everything to do with manifestations and healing as well, Reiki energy. So today's video is inspired by Dr. Nicole. She has a page on Instagram. It's called The Holistic Psychologist. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with it. If not, I would really highly encourage you guys to check out her page on Instagram. I will put her name somewhere in this video. It's called The Holistic Psychologist on Instagram, and she's a psychologist, and she teaches holistic psychology and how to teaches you how to heal, how to consciously create a new version of yourself. So today's video is inspired by her teachings and something that I have seen her post, seen her talk about it, and things that I have reflected back in my life and the people in my circle, like my friends, for instance, that I've seen it in others, and I have talked about this with others, and they have told me how much this teachings, this understanding have changed their lives for the better. So today, I want to talk about like insecure attachment style that we have adapted as an adult, and I'll tell you what it is. So, insecure attachment style is basically if you're always like trying to read other people's emotions or wonder if someone's upset with you, then that indicates that you might have an insecure attachment style. So, what that really means is basically uh, like when you're born in a home where a parent figure was very unpredictable with you, someone who withdraws, gives you silent treatment, they have like maybe anger explosions, or someone with whom you didn't really feel safe, you didn't really feel emotionally connected, then in that type of environment, you learn to constantly perceive that parent's emotions. You just you do things and you're always on eggshells taking note of that, of someone else's emotions. And it just doesn't have to be just a parent. It could be like your siblings too, someone you grew up in that environment. It could be like your boss, your teacher, someone close to you basically. What happens is that when you do this for a longer period of time as a children, excuse me, this pattern continues as an adult. So as an adult, you might overanalyze conversations, as Dr. Nicole suggested in one of her posts. She mentioned that we might overanalyze conversations, always think someone is mad at us or fear we're doing something wrong. Um, as an example, let's say the example that she uses, it's like, let's say we're out with friends and we tell a story, and one of our friends just like makes a sign, like makes a face. Our reaction afterwards would be we might think about what that little moment meant, what that sign meant, or what that gesture face expression meant, and how it offended us. And then we start searching for the meaning behind what that friend did to us, or we search for the meaning in everyone's actions. That's basically as an example. And you can just like make this out as any other examples that you can use. Let's say you are chatting with someone and someone says something in a group message and you just take it personally. It's all about taking it personally and finding meaning behind their actions. Why they said that? Wow, what did they mean by that? You overanalyze things. So the issue is that um, so the main issue with this is that as like you have to remember that as an adult, it's not your job to find meaning behind everyone's actions. I think that was a really game changer for me because in a very long time, I also used to like read, find meaning behind people's intentions or behind people's actions. Whereas now I know better that, as as an adult, it's not my position. It's not for me to like find meaning behind what they say or what they do. Because if I operate in that sense, in that way, then this is simply a coping mechanism we have developed from a dysfunctional home. It's just a coping mechanism. Think of it this way. So as adults, we're responsible for open communication with our issues or problems. So what that means is that we have to we're not responsible for anyone else's emotions. So what other person thinks, what other person feels, if they feel hurt, by if we open up and we say what we're supposed to say and how we're feeling, if the other person's reaction is that they feel hurt, it's not my responsibility, it's not your responsibility how you made them feel, basically. As an adult, our responsibility is to openly communicate our issues or problems. Uh, and for healing purposes, I think it's really important to understand. Like, she talks about emotional responsibility. So what that means is, so a healthy emotional responsibility looks like, if someone's upset, they'll need to directly communicate this to me. So if there's something going on between the two persons, instead of them acting passively, now acting passively, like they might in a message they might send you um, an article, or they might indirectly insult you, or they might indirectly in family conversations or get-togethers point something out that indirectly they were trying to tell you something. That's all like passive aggressive, and it's all like insecure attachment. It's coming from insecure attachment and all that we talked about. But a healthy emotional responsibility looks like, um, if someone's upset to you as an adult, they have to come and directly talk to you instead of talking to someone else about it behind you. And if I'm upset, then I need to directly, you know, talk about it to that specific person instead of like going behind their back and tell it to someone else or gossip about it. And also, like, rather than assuming someone's emotional state, as an adult, we should just ask. Like, we shouldn't assume, oh, maybe he's sad, or he is sad, or she's upset with me. But we have to just, ask simply. And I know it's hard. So, for example, as an example, is if I ask someone and say, "Are you mad at me, or are you okay?" and they say nothing is wrong, then I have to honor this as a truth and not an invitation to keep guessing or digging. Does that make sense? Like, I have to trust the words that I'm hearing from this person and just let it go. That's a healthy emotional responsibility. But if I and also if I upset someone, that's okay too, because adults are capable of being upset. Like, it doesn't mean that I am bad. Like, when I was a child, I did something, and let's say as a child, I was told that, oh, I was made ashamed for doing something, and I made me feel bad. No, as an adult, people do get upset, and it's normal. And if someone upsets me, I must just speak up for myself. This is how I establish boundaries. So this is how you should too. Like, if someone upsets you and gets angry with you, you should just always speak up for yourself, and establish boundaries, and don't let it like you know go under. Don't put the problem or the issue under the carpet. Just deal with it. So I think the whole point of this insecure attachment, which she was trying to get at, is um, being very vulnerable with your feelings, and also not taking other people's words personal. Stand up for yourself. When you're upset with someone, talk to them directly. Don't go behind your back. And if you notice that someone is passive aggressive with you, know that where they're coming from, and that they might be into this loop of insecure attachment style. Like, growing up, they didn't had how I talked about, they didn't had a safe environment. Not a safe environment, but I guess what I mean is they grew up with a parent or parent figure, or a sibling who was unpredictable, who gave them a silent treatment, who didn't have like emotional, um, you didn't have a connection with that person. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Also, I quickly want to talk about understanding a person's level of emotional maturity. By like I also want to talk about like by understanding like someone's level of emotional maturity, you can choose like how you want to engage with them. So quickly, I want to point out the 5 signs of emotional immaturity. Again, this is like the teachings of Dr. Nicole, and she's the holistic psychologist on Instagram. You can find her page. She like talks about the 5 signs of emotional immaturity, and I think it's good to know these things because now then you can reflect, go back, and see how where do you stand in this. Um, so the 5 signs of emotional immaturity is number one is highly defensiveness. Like you're unable to listen to another person's thoughts or feelings without becoming emotionally reactive or taking things personally. For instance, like if someone tells you something, they come to you and they just share with you something about how they're feeling, and instead of like listening to them, you might just react and say, "Oh, I guess I'm just a terrible person." You make it about yourself, so that or you're defending yourself at that moment. That's highly being highly defensive. Second is dismissive of feelings. So you invalidate, deny, or try to change the way a person feels in order to make themselves more comfortable. So in order to make yourself more comfortable, you just like dismiss of your partner's feelings, for instance. If they're sharing something with you again, you might say, "You're so sensitive," or "I guess you can't take a joke." These are all like a signs that you have to look out for and know that this person is now dismissing your feelings. And this happens in a lot of like narcissistic dynamic relationships too. Just keep that in mind. The third is black and white thinking. So everyone and everything is either all good or all bad. Yeah. So you don't have the ability to like hold multiple realities. Example, again, someone shares something with you, or they open up to you, or they share their feelings. Maybe you did something that have made them mad, and when they do that, then your response is, um, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." I'm just giving an example. So that's like because they don't if they react this way, that's the stupidest thing I've heard. If they react, say this exact thing to you while you're sharing, then that means that they have a very black and white thinking. Uh, and everything, like the fifth one, is like everything centers around their emotions. They don't have the ability to have empathy or curiosity about someone else's opinion. Example again, you share your emotions and responses. Imagine how I feel. They just like bring it back to themselves. That was the fourth one. I'm sorry. So the fifth one is you take everything personally. So anyone expressing their emotions with you, um, it's like you feel attacked. So, and if someone expresses their emotions to you, you might example, and this is an example of taking everything personally. You might say something like, maybe life would be easier if I wasn't around. That's just an example that Dr. Nicole uses in one of her uh, like IG slides. So yeah, these are all like the 5 signs of emotional immaturity that she points out, and how you can see like becoming more mindful of whether you do these things unconsciously, or whether you are in your relationship with your partner or your family or friend circle, this is someone that does these things to you. If that's true, then you know that you are in contact, or you're dealing with a very emotional immature person. So because I think it's really important to know about these things, because understanding and developing your own level of emotional maturity is a superpower in your life. So I know I gave out a lot of information in this video. I hope it made sense to some of you, and I hope uh, it was you guys find it beneficial, and I hope someone finds this valuable. And if you did, just comment down below and say and tell me your journey, your self-development journey, and whether um, how and how much you know about this and how much further you want to learn more about these topics. If it's something that interests you, let me know. I can go deeper into this topic next time and talk more about it. If that's the type of content you want to hear from me. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your family. And I'll be making more videos on manifestations and law of attractions, hopefully in the next couple of days. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day. Bye.